Alright folks, today we have a quick review for the DDJ-RZ, this Pioneer's brand new Rekordbox controller. I don't do a lot of videos, or any for that matter, but after looking online for many weeks, I decided that there needs to be more of these online. Certainly would have helped me in making my purchase. So again, this is Pioneer's top of the line flagship controller for Rekordbox. Let's go ahead and turn it on and check out the power-up sequence. Very, very pretty. Connect my USB to my laptop, and there we go. We have a track loaded. So I'm just going to go over a couple things here. Obviously, big glaring changes compared to the SZ. Jog wheels are now a very pretty blue color. Pad buttons are now renamed to their Rekordbox counterpart. So the first one's Hot Cue. Second one is Pad Effects. And on the Serato ones, these are all the roll effects, followed by a splicer and sampler. Up top, we got a regular effects section. Difference is there's an extra button on the right for specific Rekordbox functionality. My autofocus is going a little crazy up here. Can be either the simple versus complex. With simple, you can have 3 independent effects per deck. With the complex effects, the 3 knobs control 1 effect and various parameters of each. Big change is the release effects, which we're going to hear shortly. On the right, just like CDJ, you have your track load buttons, as well as jog feeling adjust and the vinyl breaking effect. How much you can spin the deck forwards and backwards. That was light. If I turn to the heavy setting, it barely moves. Again, this is just like the CDJ, so nothing really new here. Another new button is the quantize button. This is specific for Rekordbox, as well as you can also see the sequencer buttons on the right of your screen, which control the sequencer. This is very similar to Serato Flip. Pad effects, slicer, and sampler. All of these are standard fare from Serato, with the exception of pad effects, and we'll come back to that. Standard looping functionality with an auto beat loop, and the ability to set manual loops, as well as change parameters for the various pad effects. Looking at the mixer, this looks like a standard DJM 900. You have your sound color effects right in the middle of the screen, along with the big silver knobs to control them. These are post fader. These are internal effects, and we're going to test this out by using a vinyl input. So I have a classic deck playing, classic track. I'm going to turn up the fader, and we're going to go through some of these effects. These effects are different than what's included with the DDJ-SZ. And let's see. And we'll go ahead and start applying some effects. You have your filter, pitch, and this is jet, and space. And again, they are post fader. Up top you have 3-band EQ. These are set up as isolators right off the bat, although if you're using Rekordbox, you can customize this to not be a full kill. But as you can see, it is a full kill. Things that are different than the DDJ-SZ. There is now a sync, a cue button just for the sampler. So if you're firing off something in your sampler, you can cue it before it goes live. And I will go ahead and play something over here. So here's our sampler. We can also apply color effects to that sampler. So that's kind of new in this one. Really, other than that, it is basically your DDJ-SZ, but now themed for Rekordbox. Just like the older model, dual USB inputs, perfect for handovers. You can assign one half of the unit to USB A and then the other half to USB B, making changeovers very, very easy. Similar to the previous unit, there is a built-in oscillator with noise effects. There's a sine wave. Siren as well. As well as a horn. These are all controlled. These are all built into the hardware, so there's no software. Even if I disconnect my laptop, all of these will work. However, with Rekordbox, you can switch this switch to the USB A or B, and then use your own samples that you've loaded in Rekordbox, and you can modulate the pitch through here and the volume through here. So we're going to go ahead and load a track here and see how this works. So I have a track loaded, as you can see, very high resolution jog wheel, just like the CDJs. There is a slight latency from my finger and the marker, and that is dependent on the latency that you set inside of Rekordbox. Currently, I have mine set to, I believe, 192 samples, which is a latency of 4.4 seconds. Since I don't do a lot of scratching, that's perfect for me. Only time you'll notice it is you may notice a delay in your jogs, which you won't see on a CDJ. So I'm going to fast forward this track, and we're going to go through some of the pad effects, since that is kind of a big new change for Rekordbox versus Serato. So pad effects, I have these set right now to slip loops. Very similar to Serato. The bottom row I've assigned to various other effects. This one is an echo. And I can change the parameter even while I'm holding it, which is pretty nice. Great for build-ups. I have a 4-beat filter set up there. I have a reverb set up over there, as well as a break. My second bank of pad effects, I have a transposition, I believe it's called. And some various other effects down here. Bit crusher, another echo. And a really cool effect is the echo out freeze. And I have that set up so once you hit it, it's echoed out until you release it. Other big changes. You now have the Pioneer effects up top rather than the Serato effects. Personally, I kind of like the Pioneer effects. They sound a lot like the DJ series. But as it is right now, it's pretty limited. There's only a handful of effects. All the ones that are currently seen in the DJ-RZ. effects are post-fader, so I have an echo going right now, and you can see that's post-fader. Another thing that everyone kind of noticed in the teaser videos is the release effects. So I'm going to add an echo, some reverb, and with one button push you can release all the effects simultaneously. Very nice feature. Coming back down to the pads, we have our slicer again, just like Serato. Stop the deck. The kind of spin down like vinyl was because I had my vinyl speed adjust set to the longest, but I can change that and set it to something like in the middle or instantaneous like a CDJ. So here you have it, the DDJ-RZ by Pioneer. Really solid feeling unit. Feels like it's you know, some pro hardware. Quite heavy. I think it weighs in at 23 pounds. You know, really good for home use. Not sure I'd really want to take this to a club because of the size. It's a good way to get acquainted with Pioneer effects and getting used to a CDJ layout without spending the money on dedicated decks. Very quick overview. I'm going to start recording some sets and maybe get them on YouTube. But hopefully this should satisfy some of that craving. If you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. Thank you.